Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Welcome. We are joined today by the lovely Nupur, who is going to share with us some of her journey towards becoming a holistic sleep coach. So thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Lindsay. So happy to be here.
Thank you. Would you just start us off by telling us a little bit about who you are and your
Mhm.
role as a holistic sleep coach?
Okay, so I am Nupur and I originally come from India, but now we are living in Germany with my husband and my two toddlers, twins. And as a holistic sleep coach, I help families to get better sleep by looking at different kind of factors and seeing everything holistically. And yeah, it's been lovely to work as this profession.
And how much did having your little ones influence your decision to become a holistic sleep coach?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think that's one of the only factors because I had twins and both of them were so different. Their sleep was so different. And I also come from a culture where there's no sleep training. I didn't know anything about like all these sleep training terms. So for me, it was, very, very new. It was so really interesting to see how, even though we were giving the same kind of environment, same kind of responsiveness,
Yeah.
same kind of parenting style, but how they were so different. And it really taught me a lot. And I think, especially one of them who was really tricky. And it's still tricky with his sleep, with his just behavior. He's really strong willed, really a lot of FOMO, sensitive. So it really helped me to kind of get into this whole rabbit hole. And thankfully, I first found you and all your sleep advices. And I think it was much later that I learned that you also provide a program like this.
Well, so I'm always fascinated by the impact of culture, our expectations, and how we manage sleep, because of course everybody sleeps differently around the world,
Yeah.
and in a huge part of the world, exactly as you say, people don't actually actively manage sleep. So how did you kind of blend what was normal for you, what was culturally expected, with how you were finding parenting and what you eventually decided to do about it?
It's so different than the Western approach to sleep.
Mm.
So in India, we are all about co-sleeping and also expecting that babies will be waking up, and it's pretty normal even for older children. You will see parents really supporting even older children to sleep. But I think there was one thing was they don't really do actively about anything about the sleep. They just leave it. And of course, these things work because also families are bigger in India. There is a lot of village and support when it comes to raising children. So I think it's also because of that there is no really, they don't really do anything about sleep if babies are waking up in the night and playing and they're fine with it. So for me, I loved co-sleeping. I loved that the expectation is really low from babies, but I also wanted to do something about just sleep, like just not like have anything. I'm a person who loves routine, so I also wanted to kind of get some routine, not really strict ones, but just have a bedtime routine and all of those things. So what really helped me with this program was to get that kind of evidence-based scientific understanding about sleep, and also have that my cultural approach to responsiveness and having low expectations, co-sleeping, and all of that kind of blended for me, which was really nice because now it's like we, of course, we don't expect our even our toddlers to sleep through the night. They don't. Also, at the same time, it's not like we don't do anything about it. We always try to kind of see if naps are going well, if we have to kind of really increase their physical exercise because they have so much energy and all of that. So it really is helpful for me to kind of blend everything together.
I love that. So it's become a bit of a happy medium, a compromise
Yes,
for you. Yeah,
yes.
nice. Okay. Because you're right, it's all very well having no active management of sleep and going with the flow, but you do need the social support structures in place
Yes.
to be able to function, don't you? So if you
Yeah.
don't have that, then you need a compromise, right? So, all of that aside, then, what
Mhm.
made you actually decide to join the program? Clearly, you found these compromises, you found a
Mhm.
way to make this work that felt
Mhm.
culturally respectful, which is awesome. But
Yeah.
why become a sleep coach?
There was a lot of reasons. Personal reason was, so I was in Germany and we have this language barrier, even though I know a little bit of German, but then it's really hard for me. I was doing babysitting, I was teaching part time, but then having kids, I also wanted to do something from home, but not really learn more German because it's hard. Honestly, I didn't have anything in mind. But then because I had been following you and it really helped me, all your tips worked for my twins. So I think I just came across randomly that you also have a program, and that's when I really started looking into it, and it really interested me because I also have experience working with children, but at the same time I also really like to work with families, that really close contact and do something which really impacts families. I have worked with families, and when they tell how it really impacted their small things, but it's so huge for them, that
Yeah.
I think this was something which I really wanted. So yes, at the first it was a personal motivation because I wanted to do something for myself. At the same time, wanted to be at home with my kids. I think consultant was like something which was perfect for me. I did all of those things with my children. I had that kind of experience, but also wanted to learn everything about the scientific part of it. It just came like in a perfect package for me.
Yeah. And what is it you love most of all when you're working with families now? What
Yeah.
is it that makes a great consultation, or what makes you reflect and say, oh, that was a great day? What do you love
I
about it?
I think, right now I'm in a phase where my children are a bit older. So sometimes you forget those newborn phases or the
Yeah.
baby phases. But now when I'm working with those parents with babies, and when it's all about sleep for them, they're really sleep deprived, but they also really want to respond at the same time, get a little bit decent sleep. And when you talk to them, you realize that when you help them, it's like when they wake up feeling rested and they message you, that is really nice to see. I was working recently with a family with a very sensitive baby. They hadn't gone out anywhere for a very long time because their baby used to be always fussing. So for
Yeah.
them, it was really hard to go out. And then after working with me, they started going out just to see how things are. And for their surprise, even for me, the baby was very calm, very regulated, very easily able to manage. And it was because of how sleep was in right now. And for them, it was life changing,
Yeah.
even though it seems small, but for them, it was like, oh my God, we can go out now. So I love that.
Wow. Wow. And what you're saying, it really speaks to me, because so often it's not even about sleep, is it? It's about the knock-on or downstream effects caused
Yes,
by
exactly.
sleep stress
Yeah.
or the impact of disrupted sleep. I love that story. Thank you for sharing. So, in terms of making a difference to families, that's obviously wonderful. But how did you
Yeah.
feel in the beginning about starting up a business when you presumably weren't a businesswoman before, you weren't an
Yeah.
entrepreneur?
Yeah.
How did all that feel?
So even though I come from a commerce background, like I did my degree in commerce, but obviously I had no clue. I don't come from a family of business, so just no business idea at all. And also starting a business in a foreign country, in a foreign language was pretty daunting. But
Yeah.
I think what I really like about this program is the community with the help of all of these members and Emma. Of course, I had to deal with all the bureaucracy part, but then you don't see it to be a big task when you see all of these people doing it and really giving you these very small tasks to finish it up so that you don't feel you have a lot of things to do. And what I really appreciate, I think this also is a part of culture of this program, is that, and this is something which I also personally like, is not trying to be this, not do this marketing gimmick kind of thing, be very honest about what you do and not giving kind of guarantees about, you'll be getting sleep within X amount of time or sleeping through the night and all of those things. So that is something which I really resonate with. And all of those business and marketing tips you get from the community, from Emma, everything is really helpful for especially someone who's just never ever experienced in business, and also in a country which has completely different business rules and all of those things, laws.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I'm just in awe. It was so brave of you to do that. Unbelievable. But can you share any tips? So what did you find to be the most effective way of growing your business in a foreign country? Did you kind of deliberately try and reach people from within a certain culture or who spoke a certain language, or did you go for particular parenting style groups? What did you do? How did you grow? Because I know you're busy. You see lots of families now. So
yeah.
how did you get that up and running?
I think social media really helped me because even though we have a lot of English speaking families here,
Yeah.
but with just both of my twins always around, it's really hard for me to physically go out
Yeah.
and kind of look for, even though I know I can do it. And, there are a lot of English speaking families and all of that, but it's still very hard for me to kind of put that effort to physically do all of those things. So for me, social media has been so, so helpful. And it was exactly what I wanted, because you never know. It's not like we are going to live here permanently. We might shift somewhere else. So for me, everything comes on the social media. I get families from literally everywhere in the world, from US, Dubai, India, everywhere. So it's so helpful. And especially with all these language kind of barriers, like social media is so helpful because it's like clear that I speak English. So all of
Yeah.
this has been really helpful because of social media. And of course, that is helpful because, you also have all the, like, you learn about social media, marketing, everything in the program also, which is great.
So when you were beginning to set up your business and you were seeing clients, was there like a moment when you realized things were beginning to work, that you thought, do you know what? This is going to be.
Yeah, I think especially when I was doing the assignment, along with that, you have to work with few clients.
Yeah.
I think initially, especially if you don't have any background with sleep coach or even like working with families, it's
Yeah.
sometimes hard because you don't know how to deal with families and how to guide them.
Yeah.
So I think initially it was really hard for me. I was feeling like I was failing because I was not able to kind of tell them or guide them. And then with the help of community, because I remember I used to ask so many questions during that time, and then all these, like, you and every one of those really experienced sleep coaches, they used to always tell their experiences, share their experiences. That was really helpful because I think when I started seeing the results, and I also saw that my whole confidence also built, because then I understood that I'm more of a guide and not just giving them this tips. It's more like we are always working together with the families. So I think when I started seeing the results, that was when it was like, okay, it's working. And also it was like word of mouth. They were telling other parents and they were coming to me. So yes, I think that was when it clicked for me, like, okay, perfect.
Amazing. And is there a particular family that you've worked with or a particular success story that you're particularly proud of that you would share with us?
I think recently I worked with a toddler, really strong-willed, very FOMO, low sleep needs toddler. And for this family, this daughter was a third child. So for the mother, it was like, why is this child so different from my first two children? And we had to really work on understanding his sleep needs and his just physical needs also. And I think it was like a 4 weeks consultation, but for the first 3 weeks, we had to really, really do a lot of things. And by the end of 3 weeks, we all started seeing the results. It was slow, but then when you start seeing the results, the parents was like, they were getting that sleep. They were seeing that there was no more resistance when it came to bedtime for him. He would happily go to his bed. So even though it was slow, but that kind of transition happened, and the families were so happy. For me, it was like, okay, perfect. Even though it's slow, it just works.
It's amazing though, isn't it? Because you did so much more for them than improve
Yeah,
the sleep.
yeah,
You've basically given them like the cheat code for
yeah,
understanding their child.
yes,
And how lovely that it was a third child as well. Often by the time
yeah,
we get to, baby number 2 or 3 or whatever, we think, oh, I feel much more confident now. I've got
Yes.
this cracked. But actually,
Yeah.
you're right. Sometimes third child, wow, it takes some getting to know. That's amazing. And, thinking about the balance of work and life and raising little
Mm-hmm.
kiddies and all
Mm-hmm.
of that, how has working as a sleep coach kind of impacted your life beyond just business?
Oh, I think honestly, sometimes I can't believe that I'm working. This is like a perfect job for me because it has that kind of flexibility. I also don't want to miss because, they are growing up so fast. So I don't want to miss anything. So I get that opportunity to kind of spend time with them and leave all the work behind where I don't have to worry about it. And I can choose how many clients I work with. It's like the whole flexibility and the choice that I have is so much, especially at this age, because I know they'll grow up and they might not need me so much physically. But right now, it is just so perfect. It's also not just about the work, like, it's not just about that business, but it's also like the kind of impact you have as a sleep coach. When you see that when you finish a consultation with a family and then they're so happy because they kind of got what they wanted, even though we as a holistic sleep coach, we never guarantee these things, but then they still get those results. You just feel really satisfied with the job. So yeah, I sometimes have to pinch myself that I've got
Oh,
this job for myself, which is so great.
and there's such a sense of personal pride in it as well,
Yes.
isn't it? It's like your third baby, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Amazing. And have you encountered any challenges? Has anything popped up that you've needed help with? And if so, what have you done about that?
I think I've had so many questions, not just about my clients, but about my own kids. And I keep asking that in the community. And I think that is one of the favorite part of this program for me is the community aspect. I really like that because you are also talking to so many other sleep coaches, especially
Mm.
there are so experienced ones. And then they're not just sleep coaches, there are some who are lactation consultants, all the other areas where they work with children, and you learn so many things from them. And it's really nice to see they all come together to help you out. I just love that part. And whenever I have any doubt with my clients or with just my own children or even business part, I always come back to that community.
Yeah, I have to say it's my favorite part as well. I love the fact that it's so diverse, that it's so
Yeah,
multicultural. It's diverse in terms of professional background as well.
yeah,
Because we're all learning, aren't we? And we
yes,
can all learn from each other because of that shared pool of wisdom and lived
yeah.
experience. So yeah, I have to say I agree. That's my favorite part too. And if you hadn't joined the program, it might be a funny question, but what do you think you'd be doing now? Where do you think you'd be?
So, as I told you, I think I'm living my best life because of this program, because all the language barriers and having kids, it was really hard for me to find something which really suited me so well. And I'm also someone who's really sensitive and really want to impact people, even if it's in a small way. So it's just perfect for me, and I would be always so thankful about it.
That is very lovely of you to say. We're very proud of you. I know you're doing
Oh,
wonderful
thank
work,
you.
making a big
Yeah.
difference to families. What would you say to somebody who was kind of wondering about whether this was
Mhm.
right for them? They were on the fence. What would be your message?
I would say just talk to Lindsay or Emma or any of these holistic sleep coaches who are registered on your website, and I'm sure they will be able to find something. I think when I remember I had a discovery call with one of your teams, what I really liked about was that it was never sold, like it was never a sales call. It was just about finding that it was the right fit. And for me, that was like, yes, where I'm not sold to a program. It's really about whether you are a right fit. And I think just talking to any one of you would be so helpful.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely has to be right. It's a two-way street, isn't it? So, is there anything that you are working on at the moment? So that's my last question to you is what's on the horizon? What's next? Do you have big plans?
Right now, I am working on a guide, which
Mhm.
I have a lot of parents who have been doing contact naps, and they're trying to move away from it. I have also worked with a lot of one-on-one clients, but I know that not everyone wants to go into one-on-one, so I'm creating a guide for that. And that is my big thing, because I'm putting all of my knowledge, all of these things which I've worked with personally with a lot of families, and I'm
Yeah.
putting everything in this one guide. Someone who's going through contact naps and they've tried few things but has not worked. They also don't want to leave their babies to cry, and they also want to kind of get some time for themselves, and they're looking for something in between. So this guide will be for someone who wants to move away from contact naps and they have been trying. This is my next big thing which is going on.
Amazing. It's so needed, isn't it? Because you're split down the middle, aren't you? If you're a contact napping
Yes.
parent, because you love it and it's so lovely, and
Yes.
you know it's normal and it's the easiest, quickest way and all of that. But you
Yeah.
also really need to get something done, or just not have a sweaty toddler on your chest or
Yes.
whatever. So,
Yes,
oh,
I
well
I
done.
was like, with one of my twins was a complete Velcro baby, and I
Yeah.
loved it. But then I also had another twin which I had to take care of, and it was really hard to kind of manage that. And I would love to continue that, but with all the parents, it's not like they're looking for their babies to sleep for 2 hours in the crib. They
Yeah.
just want a little bit of time, and I completely get that because I
Yeah.
was exactly in that position. So
Well, that's very needed, especially with that lovely, gentle, empathetic
yeah.
approach that's
Hmm.
kind and respectful to little ones as well,
Yeah.
because change is hard for these little people. So, parents, what a gift to have something that's going to help them to make those changes in a way that
Hmm.
feels respectful and patient and gradual. Well
Yeah.
done. And how can people get hold of you if they want to work with you, if they want to reach out to you for whatever reason? Best
I'm
way.
on Instagram, and my handle name is Snooze and Suckle, and they can reach out to me on Instagram.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very, very much for making the
You're
time. I know you're
welcome.
very busy, so thank you for finding the time to talk to me. And thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope to connect with you soon.